All right, the red light is on. Welcome everyone to the Fight Panache Show. Dave Van Auken to my left. Yeah, that way. That way. Leah Dorchinez. What's up, Leah? How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing good, friend. Doing good, friend. Yeah, like I said off air, our text chain should be a podcast all of its own. It's pretty fun. Pretty good show. Pretty good show. But welcome to September, Leah. It is wild. Summer's gone. See ya. See you later, summer 2025.
We still have like 3 weeks.
I know. Yeah, I guess. To me, September, after birthday, September, and all the kids are in school, and now football started, it's fall. I don't know when the real date it is, but to me, we're in fall. It's fall.
September 22nd, I think.
Oh, that's my son's birthday. Shout out. So that birthday is the last day of summer, or the first day of fall. So he's a fall baby.
Yeah.
He's a fall baby. Okay. Well, we talked about it last week. There was no UFC this past weekend, but a ton to get into. Misfits Boxing kind of stole the show, a little DBX show over the weekend, but it was a always fun weekend. Dana White made some major fight announcement. You can see at the bottom, we have 4 guests on the show today. We'll be live for a couple hours. We'll have some fun. Like I said, he's already in the green room, so why wait another 3.5 minutes when we can just pop up now and talk to him? I will be there live in a couple of weeks in Pensacola. The night before, I cannot wait. Island Fights 91, multiple fighters on the card. But the next night, September 13th, we got SEC. We got a little grappling show, big grappling show. Cannot wait to get into it. Let's invite. I think the first time on this show, Trey Alidor. What's up, Trey? How are you?
What's going on? Good to see y'all. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Of course, man. Look at that background, Trey. What are you out in the?
It's a beautiful Pensacola, man.
Yeah,
that's Escambia Bay.
I'm a big Pence guy. Dean Toole sooner or later wants me to move out there. I might.
Come
one
on,
day,
man.
one time.
We'll make room for you.
There we go. I appreciate it. We'll get into IF 91 soon, but you're here, boss man of your show. I want you to give me the gossip, not even about this show on the 13th, but the origin of it. How'd you came up with the idea? Was it just a long night, you and a buddy, or you and the wife were like, hey, I can do this. How did this show come to be?
Yeah, so when I started doing jiu-jitsu, there really wasn't much around Pensacola. There was a club and then more self-defense based gym, no black belts. So that's what we had to work with. We had some purple belts and started training. Long story short, fell in love with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Black belts did move into the area. I got my black belt. And I had a friend of mine say, hey, you need to put on jiu-jitsu tournaments because when I was coming up, you had to travel to Atlanta, New Orleans, Texas if you wanted to compete in jiu-jitsu. And that was just the case. And you're spending a lot of money doing that. So I kind of put it off for a while, saying jiu-jitsu tournaments isn't for me. Like it sounds like a big headache. I don't want to do it. Long story short, caved in, decided to do one. It was successful. It's what the jiu-jitsu community needed. And we've been doing it for over 7 years now. So we typically have done the regular tournaments where just like anybody can sign up, come be a part of it. And then we started doing the super fight shows, which is more like an MMA show.
Right. I was going to say, can you break that down for me? So the super fights means you more have matchups. You already have fights that are definitely going to be on that card, right? Is that kind of the base of it?
Exactly. I mean, it's a jiu-jitsu grappling match. There's no difference there, but it's one match at a time. You're on a stage. You got the DJ. You got the lights. It's a production. You get to showcase your skills in front of your friends and family. So it's very similar to an MMA show, but just grappling. And it's really cool. You get to showcase yourself. You get to promote yourself, and it's worked out really well.
Can't wait. I heard there's going to be some decent commentary on the 13th show. That's what I hear.
Yeah, man. We're excited to have you in the house.
Yeah.
Fight Bananas. Is this going to be your first grappling show?
So
commentating or being a part of?
No, what did I do before? I did one. I've been to a couple. It's funny. dude, my two favorite fighters, right? UFC kind of people is Gillian Robertson and Grant Dawson,
Yep.
both heavy
Right.
grappling type.
Yep.
My kids are
Exactly.
both in jits, so it's funny.
Yep.
I love an old brawl, right? We all love
Yeah.
a Mike Perry fight every now and then, but I do love the sport and the
Right.
science behind grappling. I'm a big grappling guy, so I've been to multiple events. I think I commentated on one. I've been head to head a lot, and I got a lot of kids moving around, so I've been to something, but I've never done. I think it's been a couple years since I've done something like this, like a 4 or 5 hour just straight grappling event. So I can't wait. Can't wait. What you got, Leah?
Is this the first one?
No, so we've actually been doing the super fight shows for about 7 years now. They've kind of we used to do like one a year, just kind of like a special occasion. But then it just seemed like everybody was like into it and wanting to do it more and more. So we're doing like 2 or 3 a year right now.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about them?
Just getting to see the action and just like watching one match at a time. A normal jiu-jitsu tournament, you might have 8 matches going on, so you're just all over the place. And as the coach, you're like, you got a student competing over here on mat 1, and then across the way you got a student competing on mat 8, and it's just hectic and crazy.
Yeah.
Like you get to enjoy the show, watch, one match. Everything stops and everything is paying attention to that match. That's what I enjoy.
Do you have any like big names that you would like to see come and play a part in this with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So last show we had TJ Brown, former UFC fighter, great MMA fighter, black belt in jiu-jitsu. This show we got Phil Rowe headlining it, so that's pretty exciting. Him versus Jacob Lamar. And next show, maybe, get the Savage on there, maybe get Grant Dawson. I mean, whoever, like we're trying to elevate it each time to get some UFC guys involved in this. I think it's a great opportunity for them to get some competitive action in the grappling world, without taking much risk. So yeah, we're looking for whoever wants to step up.
And Trey, I know Cam Bennett's head is exploding right now. You said TJ Brown, you just say a little Cam Bennett. Shout out Cam Bennett, 3-0 professional fighter.
Shout out. Cam gave him a hard run for his money. Fell a little short, but it was a barn burner for real.
And I love to say that, Leah, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I saw you. My fault on that one. I think it's great for both parties, right? It is great for Cam to get that, run with someone who's been to the highest of highs and the biggest lights, for him to get that run. Elle Dawson is coming on the show, Fight Banana's family. She's out this week once again. She'll be back next Tuesday. She'll be back in Pensacola. But yeah, someone to sooner or later, maybe, how cool would it be? Maybe a Gillian Robertson versus Kayla fight.
Yeah.
Kayla Stricker fight. So to get that rub, if you want to say, kind of a budding superstar in their own right, Cam and Kayla to fight that generation. So that's always fun.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for them. It's a win-win, and it's fun.
Trey, so I'm like an outsider, right? I don't practice anything. I'm a fan, right? I'm a fangirl. Would you say that it's been as of recently that the jiu-jitsu world has really like blown up?
Yes. So, CJI was this past weekend, a huge show. Craig Jones has done a lot to bring a lot of eyes to the jiu-jitsu world. I mean, they paid out, it ended up being over $2 million, but $100,000 for a women's bracket, and then $1 million for the team, for the men's bracket. And that's unheard of in jiu-jitsu. So more and more eyes are coming to this. UFC is doing UFC BJJ now. They're signing guys to contracts. So I'm hoping that's financially benefit for them. But yeah, more and more eyes are coming to the grappling world for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of futuristic question for you, Trey. What's like the goal? If I said, hey, if this happens 2 years, 4 or 5 years from now for SEC, what would be like, oh, Dave, we nailed it. We made it. We're happy. This is kind of the dream for it.
Dave, at the end of the day, if I'm able to put on something that is beneficial to the jiu-jitsu community as a whole, and then my community is in this panhandle area,
sure.
I'll be happy. That's a win. But if we can get a stacked main card with, past UFC fighters, some current UFC fighters, some big name jiu-jitsu guys, maybe land on a platform somewhere streaming. That would be amazing. Each time I want to improve, each time I want to get better. I've invested in the show each time.
Yeah.
So it's gotten bigger, better. The quality is there. The production is there. So we're hoping to just continue to grow it and just continue down the right path.
Is Dave frozen?
I think Dave froze up on A Day.
No.
Yeah, so you did mention Elle earlier. So she is on the card. And
did I freeze out? Did I? I'm telling you, 2 out of 3
yeah.
times. I gotta check the Wi-Fi here in Daytona.
Yeah.
Great comment here. This goes such a great show. Jay does a wonderful job bringing an awesome sport to the area. You mentioned Phil Rowe, who's on this card September 13th. You mentioned even a couple fun names from Fight Bananas family for sure with Gillian, Robertson, and Grant. Is there a name like a dream fight or someone that you would want to bring to a show? Danielle Kelly comes to mind. She's done a lot of great things. There's been a lot of people out there in Vegas, some ginormous names. I know there's a lot, like you said, being signed up by the UFC, but is there a name or a fight that you're like, oh, Dave, that would be pretty cool to get it done, by the end of the next 12 months?
Oh man, Danielle Kelly would be amazing. Dustin Poirier always sticks in my mind. He's only 4 hours from, I say
Yeah.
4 hours from Pensacola. It's not far. Louisiana, it's not far.
Yeah.
So hey, he's gonna want to get the itch eventually, to do something, jump into a grappling match, my man.
Dustin Poirier versus Devin Adams grappling. I like that.
Hey, don't underestimate Mr. Grizzly,
He's a dog.
Yeah. But that would be awesome for sure.
All right, we'll get right back into September 13th, but let's go on the night before September 12th, Island Fights 91.
Yes.
Your team's been littering, the last couple Island Fights cards. It was so cool in Biloxi a couple months ago. Cam, Kayla, and Gunther, headlining and featured in big spots on the card, all getting big wins. Tell me about some of the team that's fighting on September 12th at Island Fights 91.
So September 12th, we have Tig, Devin Tagano. He is going for the 170 strap. He's got a tough fight in front of him. A scrapper, a grappler. Tig is undefeated right now. Been doing amazing every time he fights. He brings it. I think the last fight was a TKO. So that's an amazing fight that we're excited for. Mr. Colin, he's got the 135 strap. He's fighting for that. It's going to be an exciting fight there. He's got another tough opponent in front of him. The kid just fought in the past Island Fights in Biloxi. And so that's for the strap. Both are deserving. And Colin is up and coming. He is looking sharp. We're really excited to see what he does. And they're both of those guys are working hard. And then we've got Robbie, a young gun. He's doing a kickboxing match, wanted MMA, but we got a kickboxing match. He's just ready to get into the ring and show what he's been working on. So we got 3 fighters September 12th, and we're excited about it.
I love it. I think I said this to you off there. I'll say it on air. I love when the the Island Fights people kind of tell me, who to watch and stuff of that nature. They said John Gunther. I think you told me John Gunther years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago. The next name I'm hearing is this Colin Goodman. I keep on hearing about it. It's like, make sure you pay attention to him. His potential is that, those big 3 letters. So I'm so intrigued to see him just keep on rising and stepping up. So love that. Last thing, is there tickets on sale? Where can people get tickets? People to watch? I believe it's be streaming on YouTube. Give us every way that we can watch SEC, the Super Fight, September 13th.
Yeah, so we're going to have it on our YouTube page, Southeastern Submission Classic. You can tune in there, and then tickets will be at the door. So just show up, and we'll get you taken care of. But it's going to be a great night, great weekend, the 12th and 13th, right back to back.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So, Leah, I know you got a lot of girl stuff to do that weekend, but just on the YouTube, stream,
Always.
All right. So there we go. I cannot wait. I can't wait to call the fights. I hope I get most of the names right. I apologize to anyone that I don't, but we'll have some fun with that. And like I said, Fight Bananas is L. Dawson's on the card. Phil Rose in the main event. Should be a very, very fun night. September 13th, SEC Super Fights. Trey, appreciate your time, my man. I can't wait. I'll see you in around 12, 13 days. All right.
Sounds good. See y'all. Appreciate it.
There you go. Trey Alidor. All right. What's up, Leah? Man, I froze up on that one. My fault.
It's all right. It's all right. I forgive you.
I love it. I love it. All right, let me push that button to this button. Okay, I can't wait. That's gonna be fun. It's my voice. I'm telling you, there'll be a lot of lozenges that weekend, going back-to-back nights commentating. That's all right. I'll give it a go.
That's definitely an event that I would like to go to, though, because I went to UFC BJJ 1, which was an experience. It's just a different energy. I don't know how to explain it. Like UFC is so or just fights in general are so hype. And I'm not saying that, these jiu-jitsu competitions aren't. It's just, I don't know, maybe more respectable, or maybe there's more of a, that's the word, Destiny. Thank you. It's intimate.
Shout out, Destiny. Shout out.
She knew I needed some help. My brain don't work.
Tell me Destiny doesn't have a busy September coming up. I love that. I am a massive fan. Destiny McCubbin, if you haven't, go follow her on all the socials. Sub to that YouTube channel because she's got some stuff coming out this September. So pumped. I love seeing people from afar kind of making these big steps in the industry. So I'm a massive, massive Destiny fan. That was a good comment. You ready for another good comment, Leah? I was watching the Pat McAfee show. I'm not going to lie, Chad Breeze. I was actually watching Pat McAfee before this as well. And then the Fight Bananas notification came on. I tuned in. Chad, dude, give us a message. DM us, Chad. I got something for you coming in the mail, man. Shout out, Chad Breeze. No, we appreciate you, Dest. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into it a little bit. 15 minutes before John Michael Morea comes on the show. But this past weekend, like I said, there wasn't any UFC stuff. But there was something that came to two events, back-to-back nights. Friday, there was a DBX in South Florida, and then Saturday, there was Misfit Boxing with it's funny. I love Misfits Boxing. I'm not going to lie. I like its opportunities for other people. My main man, Ben Davis, is on it, so I love always him. It's a payday for him. So pumped. But I don't understand. There's boxing, but also Dylan Danis was in an MMA fight. It's wild, right? It's a lot of right? There's just a ton of going on. But if I could say, it was just a good show, big names. Darren Till with a massive knockout with Luke Rockhold in the main event. Tony Ferguson won a fight in the first time in a long time, and it meant a lot to him. You can see also with Dylan Danis, a 15-second round tap. I thought it was just a cool event to kind of watch from afar.
Yeah. To be very honest, because that's what we do here, right? Yeah. I was more intrigued by Dirty Boxing on Friday.
Okay.
I don't really know why, I guess. I think I was just busy Saturday, so the time frame for the Misfits Boxing, I'm a huge Darren Till fan.
Yeah.
And I love seeing all these conversations and the controversy about how, did he get cut from the UFC or did he just end his contract and moved on?
So it's funny. It's you never really know the truth, to be honest. So there's probably three men that really know. It's Darren Till, his agent, and Hunter Campbell, something like that. It's probably three people. He did fight out his last fight, and there's sometimes that does happen. Usually the UFC will try to negotiate before the last fight because they don't want to promote you and put you on a card in a big spot if they know that you're leaving and maybe going to leave with some of that sunlight, but also sometimes when they don't want to re-up someone, they're just going to let them fight out their contract and be gone. So, there's rumors on both sides. Darren Till even said hey, I want to get out. I feel like I can almost make more money outside of it. Kind of less stressful environment, less stressful fights, and make maybe the same or even more money. So again, I say that all the time. Imagine going to a school teacher and be like, hey, you don't need to be a school teacher anymore. You can be a substitute teacher, and I'm going to triple your pay. Every teacher will say, yeah, I'll do that, right? Sign me up for that one. So I think that's my Darren Till analogy. But but he is a free agent, and he's been killing it outside of the sport of boxing. But before we go more into Darren Till with Tony Ferguson, let me push this button that I should have pushed as a host 3 minutes. So the show stealer for you this past weekend, Leah, if I said one person stole the weekend for you, who's that person?
I'm going to say Darren Till.
There you go. That's how we should have started. My fault on that one.
What about you? What about you?
My show stealer of the weekend, I think Darren Till is a very close second. So I will give you that. I'm not going to berate you on that good answer from you, but Tony Ferguson, that man won a fight for the first time in a long time. The kind of how emotional he was and him being like a champion. He won one fight. He's a champion over there. I don't know how it is, but it is. I just think it's super cool. So I think Tony Ferguson, for me, stole the show this weekend.
Yeah. First time he won in 6 years. That's
crazy.
6 years. Destiny asked, how did y'all feel about the Bryan Battle fight? I'm a huge Bryan Battle fan. Okay. Huge Bryan Battle fan. I'm almost curious if that fight was called a little early. That's just me. That's just me.
I'm a massive Bryan Battle fan as well. And he's actually going to be on Fight Bananas this Wednesday with our guy, Ryan Gerald. He couldn't today, so he's going to be on the show tomorrow. And Bryan will say the same thing. I talked to Bryan Battle a ton before he got into the UFC. His first, you want to say, big interview or big podcast was with me. So me and Bryan Battle go back a long time. I like me some Bryan Battle a lot. The one thing I will say, and I'm happy that he won. I'm happy his name is still out there for sure. I love that he got a payday. I'm very happy with all that. He did fight a 3-9 guy that had no that man should not have been in the same arena as a Bryan Battle, the type of talent and level that Bryan Battle's at. So Bryan Battle did what he had to do. He got him out there early. I agree with you. It was a wonky finish. He just, the guy who lost, never really got up after taking a couple shots. But hey, it is what it is. But back to Bryan Battle on the positive side. Yeah, happy for Bryan Battle.
Yes.
Payday, moving on. Yeah, we'll see what's next.
I think this is a good place for him.
Yeah.
I think that the stars really aligned, and from him to be cut from the UFC from a fight that was supposed to have been 2 weeks ago to
the day, 2 weeks to the
straight into dirty boxing. I think it was just destiny.
Talking about destiny. Look at this. Grant Dawson, dude, one of my favorite people on this planet. Glad Luke Rockhold got flatlined. He was super mean to a good friend of mine, so he's on my E-list.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does E-list mean? What does that mean?
That's the bottom. That's the bottom.
Okay. I thought it was called like a shit list. Like I thought
or that.
Same thing?
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit list is the E-list?
Yeah.
Yeah. He got knocked out. Knocked out.
I used to really like Luke Rockhold 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, his demeanor, his attitude, the arrogance, and then I think that kind of catapulted him into the downfall of the fight world.
I totally agree. When you're winning fights, like our next guest, John Michael, coming up in a second, you can be that arrogant. Conor McGregor, when he was doing his thing, can be that arrogant. When you're Luke Rockhold and you're not doing that type of thing, you just can't do that. Great comment by Jake. I don't know, man. That guy was 3-9. Oh, enemy list. Enemy list.
Oh,
I like that. I've never heard that before.
Me neither. I just thought it was like A, B, C, D, E, you know?
Yeah.
I guess there is F, but
he's under F, right? He is below F. So I was with you on that one. I'm not going to lie. Grant Dawson, hopefully everything is good with him. Shout out Grant Dawson. Dude, these comments are coming in. I'm sorry. We'll get to them all. We're a people show. Yes, super happy for him. A lot of people hate the opponent of that. By the end of the day, they both signed up. Yes, for sure. You said Dave had to do maybe wait. Yeah, no, Destiny. Great point. Great comment right there, Destiny McCubbin. Absolutely. No, it's a fight. And if you signed contract, they're both men. They know what they're getting themselves into. So I couldn't agree with you more. This is a good one. Bro folded like a chair. Dude, that was wild. Darren Till hit that chin. All right, we got our guest in the green room. I don't want to wait any more longer. We'll get into UFC Paris right after our next guest. It's so funny. I've been watching and following him for a minute. He's kind of in my little circle of people and friends. Trains a little bit the same gym that my 12-year-old son boxes at. So I always love seeing him through. Absolute specimen, Leah, by the way. I'm, if I was a young lady, right? A young lady lad, dude, my man, an absolute specimen. So let's bring him right to the show. He's the champ for Combat Night, turning pro, I believe, really, really soon. John Michael.
How we doing?
John, what's up, brother?
John.
How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Good. Where are you, brother? You in South Florida somewhere? Where are you? Look at you, living the life.
Can I flip the camera, man? I don't know if I can. I'll just turn the camera around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. At the Hammond Beach Resort. I don't know if you ever heard of it before. It's over in Palm Coast, Florida, like the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's north of Daytona, like 30 minutes. But I live like 10 minutes away from here. I'm kind of in a small beachy town that blew up, but I don't live in like Orlando, one of these big cities around that most of the fighters are that.
I love it, man. I love it. Like I said, man, a massive fan of you. First and foremost, appreciate you coming on the show, John. Like I said, been seeing you do your thing. It was just going to come sooner or later, so I'm pumped to have you on.
I appreciate you having me on and giving me another chance to kind of express myself and let people know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these, like I kind of tuned in a little earlier, I'm not a loud, arrogant fighter. I try to be humble, and I believe in God and in Jesus Christ. So it keeps me leveled and grounded. So I have a different approach of like how I express myself to the world, but it makes me unique. So I'm not going to be one of those guys coming on here talking shit about other people. Like, I keep it down to earth. I train hard and I'm chasing my dreams. I'm still in the middle though, like right in the beginning, kind of, pro debut coming soon, November 8th. So super excited for that. And that's really what I got going on.
I love it. And we'll get into some MMA stuff and, questions and fight questions with you and all that stuff. But it's so funny, man. I love this. And I don't know exactly where I'm at with my journey and my dream of one day getting there and all the time. But I hear this all the time. They say it's like, even if you get to this place you want to go, and that's actually one of my questions for you, John, is about maybe the UFC or a different promotion in the future. But wherever your dream is, I hear this all the time from people that have been there or are old enough and they're on the other side of it. It's like the journey to the dream is sometimes better than the dream. Like
figuring it out and being present, living through it. Yeah, correct.
Being an amateur double champ and doing everything of that nature and just keep winning fights, and you're with your circle and your people and like stuff of that nature. What I'm doing, I'm with my best friends all the time talking fights. It's like maybe one day, wherever I get to, if I'm not doing this, I will miss this. You know what I'm saying? Right. I will miss these days where my internet fails during the show sometimes. But that's life.
Yeah, no, and they say for fighters, especially like the amateur career, is all about learning and putting yourself in the tough challenges and taking short notice fights and just trying to grow as much as you can before you go pro, because when you go pro, you can't go back and your record goes clean. And I feel like all these big promotions, like you're talking about UFC, PFL, they look at your record and they look at your activity. Yeah. And you can have a good record, but if you don't have activity, I feel like you're not a valuable asset for them, because you're almost like a liability at that point. But so when I do go pro, I plan on being very active. I'm taking 2 months, 10 weeks till my pro debut, so I'm gonna have a good camp. I'm healthy, I'm clear-headed, and I'm really excited to venture into the journey of being a pro now, and being a little bit smarter about my fights, but building myself up to be in any of these promotions and put on really high-level fights, challenge myself, and ultimately just put a good product out there, because that's what they want, right? They want a good show. They want, somebody who's going to be entertaining and keep exciting fights every time they come in there. And that's the energy I bring. I'm always very, I have a high sense of urgency for showing my skill sets and being aggressive. And that's who I am, man. I can't harp more on the pro debut. I'm super excited for it.
Can't wait. Leah?
Yeah.
Tell us about November 8th. Where are you fighting at? Have you started camp already? Or are you, when does it all get the ball rolling?
Yeah, so I'm starting camp next week, but I just kind of fought 3-4 weeks ago. So I also went and ventured, Chris Mixan, you guys are having him on next. He had an outstanding, performance for PFL. I went up there and supported him. And then I actually have a friend, his name's Marcus Benham. He's an amateur as well. He's 2-0, but he's fighting for the welterweight title on Island of Fights. So I've been helping a bunch of other people, but I stay active every day. I have a scheduled routine life. Like I wake up and do my calisthenics. I do my sauna, my cold plunge, and then during the day I do my like running or swimming or something out in the sun, and then I box at night or I'm at Fusion. So my schedule's always full of training. I'm always in shape. I take care of myself really well. It's like more of a lifestyle for me. I don't like hop out and stop, go out of the gym and let myself kind of like fall back a little bit. I'm trying to just keep the momentum going because that's kind of, how I got here in 2 to 3 years. I just got really active. I fought, I think it was 10 times in like 18 months.
That's awesome.
So it's super active amateur career. And, again, I want to keep that up, but it's about staying healthy. And sometimes I'm not always training for my fight, but I'm training, to help other people fight. And I learn that way too, so I don't know. That's kind of how I roll.
I got something, and then Leah, right back to you. I'm sorry. Is there any shot? Are you going to Island Fights, by the way? Any shot of that, or no? Not a lot of traveling during the next couple months for you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna corner Marcus. He's been coming to my gym and working me here and there.
Let's go.
So I think it'll be a fun experience for me because other than combat night, I haven't really ventured out in any of the MMA promotions. I feel like they just do really well with promoting me and keeping me active, and like I like the relationship I have with Mitch and Ramsey and Richard Cox and all of them. So I plan on fighting for them. My pro debut Jacksonville, by the way, which is November 8th. But I will probably be at Island Fights.
Well, dude, John, maybe we didn't talk about this. I'm an Island Fights guy. I do the commentary for Island Fights. I will be there in the building. I can't wait. So I can't wait to see you. That's a great fight too. So the person that we had before was literally your opponent's coach, Devin Tiago. So that kid's a stud, man. He's, very, very, aggressive, but, very, very fun, electric, very dynamic type of fighter. So I've been hearing good stuff about your guy too, Venom. So that's going to be a great fight.
He's had a hard time getting a fight. I think he moved from Cali like a year ago, and he's been trying to get an amateur fight. He's been active on the mats. He's in shape. He's hungry. And again, he's another exciting guy with an aggressive style. I don't know if you've seen any of his highlights, but he used to fight in California. But he's very hungry, and he has the same dream as me. So like I feel like I link up to people with that same dream, and as long as they're humble and they train well, because you have to have really good training partners to stay healthy and alive through this journey in his career. He's one of them, so I keep him around, and I think he's gonna have a good performance, so I'm excited for that.
So you said the dream. What is the dream, John? What is the dream?
I don't know. I feel like it was, a lot of people say it's to go to the UFC or, be a world champion or whatever. Like, obviously, I feel like that is the dream, to be a world champion, to be the best fighter in the world. But ultimately, like, I want to make myself so attractive to where people want to come and fight me no matter what organization I'm in. So it's about building that brand and putting on performances and staying active to build, that real fan base, and also just get people that want to come fight me that are attractive and bring, fun styles, good fights on, because I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. That's the fight career. Yeah. So.
Dude, Grant Dawson's showing you some love for sure. There's Cody Barnes. I don't know if it's your fight. They're going, give us your prediction of your win as he goes. I think they're saying they're trying to ask you for your prediction of your fight. I would assume that John thinks he's going to get the W. I'm just throwing it out there.
November 8th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I plan on knocking him out.
There you go.
With my hands. I work with John Radford, as you know, Dave, and we're really confident in the hands. And ironically, the gym that we cultivated into, we used to be Pete White Boxing and MMA, but now we're at Move Daytona. Yeah. And it's a CrossFit gym, but also we have our own label to Move Boxing. And I believe in movement. I believe in, I run a lot. I was a cross country runner my whole life. So I really believe in like the way I train and how unique I am, how I move, how I see things. And I think ultimately I'm going to have a lot of knockouts in my pro career. And I'm excited for that. So one at a time, baby. November 8th is the next one.
Let's go. November 8th, Jacksonville, Florida, for Combat Night MMA. The professional career starts. We kind of talked about that, and Leah threw that out there. And of course, you were lucky enough. I was lucky enough. We go to a lot of the PFL events. They take Fight Bananas. They take a lot of good care of what us and what we are here at Fight Bananas. Do you have a certain, and we're about to talk about it after you leave, like DBX was this past weekend. Our main man Dean Tools has bare knuckle MMA. They're doing a lot of stuff. Misfit Boxing. Back 5-8 years ago, it was just kind of the UFC and then a little bit of Bellator. Now there's the UFC and the PFL is doing their thing, and there's so many other avenues to create money and eyes and all that nature. John, is your absolute destination in 2-3 years from now, is it the UFC going on Dana White Contender Series, getting that first round TKO and getting that contract, or does any of these other things interest you at all?
It's God's plan. So whatever comes to me at first, whoever believes in me and wants to give me an opportunity, that's been my number one get-go since I started. It's just take the opportunities, and as they come to me, I take them, and I thrive in the spotlight. And I put God and Jesus' name before mine, and I give him the glory, no matter victory or whatever happens that night. And that's what you're going to see from me every time my hand's raised. I'm going to glorify Jesus' name, and ultimately try to just be a good influence on the world. And that's my goal. That's my journey here. I'm not doing this for money. I started late. I got into combat sports like maybe 3 years ago, and again, it's just been very active. I didn't grow up wrestling. I wasn't bred on the mats, as they say a lot of these fighters are. So yeah, I've always been an athlete though, and I've been hungry and very ambitious. So just being the best fighter I can be and becoming the best me is what inspires me. And self-growth, just battling myself every day, being in the gym every day, learning still, growing, reaching out to new coaches, new training partners, going traveling and stuff like that. Like I try to just keep myself growing, and if I do that, I think I will be in the UFC, and I will be one of the best in the world. But that's God's plan, and that's in due time. And I say that a lot too. If you ever look at my Instagram posts, I'm always in due time, because
I love it.
Sometimes in life we don't always get what we want right when we want it, but if you stay on the path, you can get it. It's all about just not quitting and believing yourself and learning, and that's who I am. That's my motto.
So true. And if I could ask, what were you, like I said, as a married man with multiple kids, I think I can say this. You have definitely you have a great physique, John. All right, let's say as a 41-year-old man, very jealous of your great physique. How were you active beforehand? Were you a different athlete of football or different sports, or just always loved staying in shape? What did you do before you kind of got this combat sports bug?
Yeah, so I ran cross country in high school, but I was ultimately a baseball player. Like that was the dream. I wanted to be Derek Jeter when I was young, and I played
my favorite, man. My first puppy's name was Jeter, brother. That was it. My first puppy was a Jeter.
Let's go, like-minded people.
Love that.
But I wanted to be Jeter. I played baseball my whole upbringing through high school, and it didn't work out. I feel like I ended up in the wrong place with the wrong coach, and it kept me with a chip on my shoulder. So when I met Chris Mixan, he's the one who got me in the gym, and he sparked the candle. So if you guys, I think you talk to him later, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can ask him about that, how he got me into it. But no, he inspires me. I believe in him to the utmost, and I got his back, to the day I die. So I feel like it's inevitable to see me and Chris Mixan on the big stage, in the big fights, with all of it on the line, because we believe in that and we live that life. You don't live this for 10 weeks and then fuck off. Like if you really want it and you have the dream, you got to live it every single day.
Yeah.
And that's the motto. That's the life.
How great was it to see what he did in Charlotte, North Carolina, man? How cool was that? And we're going to talk to Chris literally in around 45 minutes from now. Like I said, I literally said it off post-fight in the media scrum. I was at his second or third amateur fight in Daytona Beach, Florida, years and years ago. I remember my 8-year-old son was a baby, was literally months old. Now he's in Charlotte, North Carolina, under the second biggest promotion in combat sports. Getting the TKO, first round TKO. Just what a journey. That's so cool to see him do his thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. They actually played the wrong walkout song, which is funny.
I know, wild.
When he walked in, I was like, that's not his song, because me and him are close to each other. I helped him with the weight cut. We've always been around each other for each other's fights. Like he's cornered me 3 or 4 or 5 times now. So like I said, we're close. So he had an off night. He even told us after, he didn't feel like himself. He started slow. The walkout song was bad. His workout right before the fight wasn't right. He looked good in the shakeout in the morning, but I guess something happened. He just didn't feel comfy backstage. It's all about getting into that free Zen mindset and having fun, like you said. And he was able to channel that. As you saw, he got the first round finish, but he told me like he started slow and it took him a while to really find it and start moving his feet. And I agree with him, but at the same time, I'm proud. Like if you get someone out there in one round and you don't take damage, like you got to be so thankful and grateful for that. Like we play a really dangerous sport, there's no playing around. Like it's real, like I say, I played baseball. I played sports in my life, but when I started fighting, I realized like, you gotta train and live the life for this now. It's not even playing, like it's your health. So it's dangerous, but anyways, he's doing really well and I'm proud of him. And I think he's gonna be in the UFC very soon if the PFL doesn't jump on that. So we'll see. Sky's the limit for that kid,
that's for sure.
He's got all the talent in the world.
And Leah, you go wrong with that. I can ask John 19 questions in a row. I'm sorry. I'm
sorry. I'm a little bit of a yapper, but
You're good. I love it.
No, it's great.
I feel like I'm just like front and center.
I was a businessman. So like I used to sit at desk with a lot of, big time people where money making decisions were on the line. I ran a recycling company with my parents from 14 years old to 24 years old. So like I can walk into any room and talk to anybody. Like that's just kind of who I am.
And that's perfect because you need to be able to speak, especially as, everyone thinks that fighters are just fighters. Like you're being interviewed and you've got to build your brand and, make that name for yourself. So being able to talk is huge.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. I work on it. You're being a social guy. Got to go out and get sponsorships. You got to, even meet new training partners. Like you're always socializing when you're a fighter. You're on the mats with so many different fighters, so many coaches. And, it's about building a good support system, a good team. And I'm still in the process of doing that because I'm early on in my career, but I tend to meet more people in the future. So if you're interested and you're on the show, like I'd love to train, hit me up. I'm open on Instagram, JM2_MMA. And that's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
One thing you said about Mixan towards the end there, and like, I love that he's undefeated in the PFL, and we'll talk about it. And maybe it's not, I totally understand. Even for me, right, doing whatever I'm doing, like UFC is the end game, and it's the biggest
promotion. He's in his prime too. I feel like fighting's all about like getting someone in their prime and the right time.
Yeah,
and he's in that prime of his career and his life. His skills are already world level. He's young still. He stays healthy. He's very focused. He's humble. He doesn't have he doesn't have a lot of liabilities. He's all in on this dream, and I really wish the UFC will just give him a call already because he's overdue. Yeah, and he's entertaining as they come. He's exactly what the UFC wants to put in the cage is Chris Mixan.
Yeah, no,
the Cossack, by the way, the Cossack. So PFL, get that right. That's the Cossack right there.
That is the Cossack. Good question here from our guy Scott Hamilton. They go, "Yo, John, when are you going to Thailand for Muay Thai?"
I've been talking about it, man, for years. I'm hoping to go within the next year. I want to go over there with somebody because like if you're there for 2-3 weeks, you gotta have somebody to actually pull the reins on me. Because I'm one of those people who work so hard. I'm a horse that I can overtrain myself. I can train with injuries through injuries, and it's about, especially with a fight in 10 weeks, it's about keeping myself healthy. So right now it doesn't really match up timeline wise, but I'd love to go after this fight. I might take a lull of training between this one and my next one. Because I have things I really want to work on. Like you said, going to Thailand would be one, and just expanding my overall MMA IQ and learning from other people. Like it's inevitable for me. So I'm still young. I'm 27, but at the same time, I'm trying to, stay active. So it's like it's a happy balance of that. You know what I mean?
And I know you have a great, looks like working relationship with Combat Night MMA, and they're getting this stuff done for you. Do you have it's a tough sport out there. Do you have a manager outside of that helping you get in fights and sponsorships and stuff of that nature? Or are you kind of right now in control fully of your career and what's happening next?
Yeah, I have a relationship with all the people who want to support me in my life. And like I said, I was a businessman before this, so it kind of makes me unique. I have a different perspective, and I have a lot of knowledge that isn't fight related that suits me well. So I don't think that I need to give it to someone. Eventually, when I make enough to where I could just give it to somebody that I trust and have a good relationship with, I'd love to do that, right? But right now, it's like I haven't blown up socially. I feel like I get a lot of views on my stuff and my content is blowing up, but I don't have a lot of big following yet. So until I have that, it's I don't have a lot of like big time names reaching out to me yet. So, I'm waiting for the first names, but it's I have a relationship with all of them, so I don't have a manager technically.
Yeah.
On
No, I respect that. I think you kind of nailed it, to be brutally honest. I've seen all different relationships and that stuff, and you were right where you're at, a little bit before you and a little bit after you. And it just seemed like, to me, it seems like from afar, and there's different from everyone, right? Sometimes marriage is the greatest thing or the worst thing, and somewhere in between. But it seems like for where you're at, a manager for mixed martial arts is really important 3 years from now, where you're at, like kind of making that big decision, your second UFC contract, getting tied up with, prime energy.
It's got to be the right personality, though. It's got to be the right person.
Sure,
man.
of course.
I don't link on to people that I feel are going to bring me stress. Like, my goal is all about growth, goals, and peace. And if you try to intervene on that, or I feel like that's not what you offer to my life, I'm not going to have you there.
Right.
And why would I have a manager that takes 15% of 5 and 5, which would be $1,000 plus taxes? Like, I'm not even making money at that point. Like, I have other outlets of money in my life where I don't have to like be so thirsty for $800 or $600. So I want to set myself up right in the long run.
I love it.
So the right person is going to acknowledge who I am when I do what I'm supposed to put on those performances, and it's inevitable for me to get wherever I want to be. Put it that way.
Yeah, I feel like that's smart.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people jump
I try
in.
to be smart. That's the goal here.
Yeah, I mean,
we meet a lot of personalities in fighting, though. Like, I love the MMA journey because you meet so many different kind of people, man. But like, when I meet somebody who's got like a sharp mind for not just fighting, like, really smart fighters, but when they have different avenues in their life or skill sets, like, and I really like to I bounce off those people well. I coexist them well because I feel like life isn't all fighting, but at the same time, it's got to be your lifestyle. So it's my preference on the people I surround myself with.
Yeah, I feel like you have a very genuine, like, personality. You're not.
Thank you. For
you're
sure.
not beating
And I like
people up
Dave's energy. Every time I see him, I always go acknowledge and say what's up. I know he's always in the moment and he's doing his thing. Which, shout out to you, man. You've grown a lot in the past 3 years. Like, I was with somebody today. He's like, yeah, I remember him. He had 7,000 followers. I'm at 70. Like, you've grown your following and your page up, and I acknowledge people who grow and they put in the work for things, and they work hard, and then they reap the benefits of it. So I'm happy for you, Dave. You've done a really good job of fight bananas.
Thank you, man. That's very nice of you to say, man. Appreciate that. One last thing, like, I think it's just an honest question. And me and Leah joked about it before you came on the show. We were just talking shop about Ferguson and Till. We were just saying, hey, we got to be honest. And we are always on this show. Cossack Mixan, trained a lot here in Daytona Beach and Port Orange. We talked about Pete White boxing MMA. Our main man, the professor, John Rafford, someone I say is a brother to me. He was here in this area. But it looked like he traveled out to Colorado to be like, hey, I got to, to step it up one little major notch, 5-0 pro, 6-1 pro, somewhere in that nature when he made that big jump. And you said, you've been listening or following Chris spark that, dream of yours. Is it something you think you have to do in the future one day, or do you think you'll cross that bridge when you need to? Or when I say you might, what do you think would you have to make that big jump to a gym in the future?
So I do train at Fusion XL, which I would say is a pretty profound gym across like all platforms, not even just the regional scene. Like, they have a lot of UFC fighters. We're on a fight win streak right now. So got to give a shout out to Fusion XL for, what they have going on there. But I just started training there recently. Like my last 2 fight camps I've been involved with Fusion, and as much as I learn over there, I have to be careful with my exposure because it's kind of a jungle. I'm not gonna lie. So you got to be careful in those gyms where a lot of people are fighting on the mats, and I'm there to train and learn, and I have to have smart training partners. So like, I went to Colorado already and ventured at high altitude for a week. I also I train with John Rafford boxing. I ventured in a lot of different gyms, and I think that's what makes me like unique is I get different minds and approaches. I already know that I could fight. I have that dog in me. I've been an amateur fight of the year. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But I've already been in gritty fights where I've had to really figure it out, and that's what I pride myself off of is, every time I'm in there with someone, I just have to figure them out and find their opening. And the last 2 fights have been pretty quick and simple and straightforward to that. But that fight, I got dropped in the first round and had to really find like my striking and my boxing and my movement in there to start evading and playing better defense. And, learning, I like John Radford. I don't know, you talk to him all the time. He's like a fight computer. Like he downloads you, we find the opening and then we exploit on it. And that's like my style there, right? Very tactical, sharp, hit with intention, hit with precision. And that's the style we have. So I think that's like, it makes me unique in that way. Like kind of like a Chris Mixan, where he's just, you never know, you can blink and someone's on the ground. That's a
great
special style. Very exciting too.
That's for sure. Man, so pumped for what's coming up next for you in your career. Leah, anything else for John?
No, I'm good.
Good. Cool. Well, John, man, appreciate your time. You got a beautiful view. Sit down, relax, enjoy the rest of the day.
We'll give you one more.
Man, look at that. Hey, John, it's to me, it's
golf
September.
Course, beach, we got it all going on.
We're having this little fun debate beforehand. To me, it's September 2nd. It's football season. The kids are in school and everything. It's fall now, right? Like, I don't care about what it says on the calendar right now. Is it fall or are we still in the summer?
It's summertime.
Man, John's on Team Leah.
It's still, look how beautiful. I mean, we're getting rain here and there. I think it's hurricane season more than anything.
That is true.
I pray we don't get smacked, but I have a feeling that something's coming. There's always a storm brewing in some water going in some direction,
Always.
But no, thank you guys for having me on. For sure.
Of course, brother. Thank you, man. We'll talk soon. Right before your fight in November, let's get you back on the show, all right?
For sure, man. Let's link up soon. I'll see you at All In Fights too.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, brother.
Later, John.
Later.
Thanks, dude.
See you guys. Bye.
Dude, John Michael Morea making his pro debut November 9th. Leah, I told you about it. You got to get to Island Fights. I've been trying to tell you. Everyone.
I know. Give me a month. Give me a month and 2 days.
I think they got the next one on November 14th is the next Island Fights. That's in Biloxi, Mississippi. So we'll see. I don't know if I was supposed to say that date out loud just yet, but it is what it is.
Oopsie.
Dude, wasn't I right? That kid's a stud, right? That kid's a stud.
Definitely a stud.
Dude. Talking about studs. Look at this. Look how good this show is. Just one after another. Look at my smile. You can't fake this smile.
Mm-mm.
Maybe the stud of all studs. Maybe one of the nice people that texted me a couple days ago. To me, absolutely the strawweight queen. I think she's got tied the most finishes in female MMA history. Do you know this?
Ooh.
How good this Canadian-born fighter is? Fighting maybe soon in an arena near you. I don't know if we can say that yet. But the one and only Gillian the Savage Robertson. What's up, G?
I just popped in at the perfect time.
You did.
You did. G, I know you go to a couple combat night shows down there. Have you seen John Michael Morea fight yet? They're champ.
No, I have not. I haven't been to too many recently. I'm at them here and there with the combat night shows. I always like to show them love. I'm like, they were my first amateur fight ever. So in a lot of my amateur fights. So I'm like, you always got to show love give some love to the hometown,
For sure. I saw this comment earlier and we had so many other comments and we had a great conversation with John. So I have to put this back up. Dude, look at Fight Finesse is top tier. These organic conversations. Please don't ever. He did say it after this. He goes, lose touch of the culture. You guys been watching since damn near one. Shout out Cody Barnes. Thank you. So what's up, G? How's life? How's everything going in your world?
I guess things are going all right. And we're, still in the same kind of spot. I've got the offer. No 100% confirmation. I think this one's a little bit more solid, though. The last one I can not understand, but understand why she could say no. This one, I feel like there's less reasons for her to say no. It's a good opportunity and, potentially a a title contender fight. So
that literally, you know me, I always have my notes for you. That was the top thing I had. Since we've talked, there's now not a champion in your division. So that's first and foremost. Zhang Weili vacated her championship. She's moving up to flyweight, which I will definitely talk to you about that. But they did make a strawweight championship even before that fight. One Mackenzie Dern. It's so funny. You and I have been talking so much. We have put this out there in the universe. We have manifested a Gillian Robertson, Mackenzie Dern fight. And it seems like after Dern and Verna, Verna's probably going to be the betting favorite, I would assume, in this fight, to be brutally honest. But they won't need a challenger after that fight. And they fight sooner. They fight in October. I would think early spring, they will need their first challenger. So they need another fight. They need someone else to fight someone else that might be the new number one contender. In my eyes, does that make perfect sense?
And with these two grapplers fighting each other, it only makes sense that the best grappler in the division has to be the first challenger.
I like that. Cut that up. So when you saw that news, we've kind of talked about it. It's been rumored. I think a week beforehand, I messaged you. I'm like, hey, I'm hearing this. Are you hearing the same thing? First of all, let's start with the champ. What do you think about Weili dropping her championship and moving up against Valentina? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like these have all kind of just been like rumors that have been going around for a while that finally came to fruition. But honestly, I think that I don't understand the whole champ thing a lot of the times. This is another one of those situations where I'm like, I don't think you've cleaned out the division enough to say that like I want to move up. Honestly, I think it's the easier fight to move up. Personally, I'm like, the way Valentina's been looking her last two fights, she hasn't been looking like the fastest, the best. She's been looking a little bit older, fighting a little like very safe, very smart, but fighting very safe. Where I'm like, I think that like a Virna or a Mackenzie Dern would give Weili more problems than a Valentina would at this moment, just where she's at in her career. So I'm like, I don't know. It seems like a safer move than like to actually take out more contenders in your own division. Yeah.
It's funny. Shout out Destiny. She totally agrees with you. I agree with half of what you said, and then I love it. I love when you and I disagree because we usually don't. I feel like on the same, especially fighting page. I totally agree with the champion should stay in their division until they clean it out. Probably even twice. I kind of sometimes, I don't know about you. I don't mind really high-end cool rematches. I think it's fun. It's different, especially when you see a fighter grow and get exponentially better in the rematch and kind of see it. I think that's good for mixed martial arts and good for the poster. So I think Weili did have some more stuff to do as a strawweight. So I agree with you there for sure. I disagree on the Valentina thing. I've been hearing this a lot. Everyone's picking Weili. I got Valentina in this spot. I think Valentina is first and foremost, the bigger person, the bigger woman. She will be the bigger fighter, I believe, on fight night as well. And also, like, I think one of Weili's kind of little secret sauce was her championship experience and her being a champion. No one's been more of a female champion than Valentina Shevchenko. So, like, to me, you lose that aspect of it. And I think we've seen Valentina move up. It didn't work against Amanda. I feel this is the Weili to that. I think she's going to be a really good mixed martial artist. I don't see her as being the champion as a flyweight. That's just me, though. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I'm team Shevchenko over here.
Woo! We got two. There's 2 of us.
I've been a long-time Shevchenko fan, but I think that I do agree with you, G, about how you say that she plays a little bit safer. But I think that's what's helping her win as of recently, because who was it that she lost to? Alexa Grasso?
Yeah.
I feel like it was just a little bit wild, and that kind of took her out of her safe space to get the win. But I don't know. I think we're going to see. I think it's a good matchup. I just think that Shevchenko is bigger and she is so much more experienced, and especially fighting for the belt, like, I don't know. I just think I think she's got the upper hand a little bit.
I'm not necessarily saying that I think that Shevchenko and that Weili is going to win that matchup, but I do believe that like Virna stylistically is a harder matchup for Weili right now. To have a top-heavy grappler who's capable of getting takedowns, who's capable of going for submissions. I feel like those are Weili's weaker spots. Where it's like if Valentina winning this fight is probably going to look for a takedown and hold her, I'm assuming.
Right. No, I don't disagree with that. So I think one question, of course, leads into another, and just kind of hearing some of your thoughts. So I think I know who you're going to say this one. So the month before the Weili and Valentina fight happens in October for the vacated strawweight champion, to me, it's the Savage Championship. They're just fighting for it right now. It is what it is. It's the Savage Championship. You know that. Who do you have winning your belt in October? Do you have Mackenzie Dern or do you have Verna?
They already fought once before, right?
No, haven't fought.
Are you sure?
Ooh.
I
love this.
That's a good question. I don't think
it's usually I put G on the spot. I like this. I'm getting there.
Say that they fought once before.
Mackenzie Dern, 15-5, 10-5 in the UFC. Her losses: Lemos, Andrade, Jan, Marina Rodriguez. She did fight Verna before and won. Gillian Robertson. Dude.
Look at this.
We got punch for a living. So they fought in December of 2020, UFC 256.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you said Mackenzie had won that one?
Yeah, Mackenzie won.
I want to go back and watch that because I'm definitely almost interested in how Mackenzie won. Right now, just like going off their styles, I would see Verna winning the match. So I'm like, I want to go back and watch. I think that Dern just doesn't have strong enough wrestling, or even her top jiu-jitsu seems kind of like, she plays that game very safe. When she's on bottom, she's attacking. She's looking for submission. She's dangerous when she's on the bottom, which is maybe like the situations that gave Verna the issues where Verna's very top heavy, taking her down. Mackenzie feels very comfortable on her back. So I don't know. I would definitely want to see how it played out the first time.
Yeah.
But I'm probably siding Verna a little bit on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Lee, I want you to please take the next one. I want us to show this comment because you know me, guys. I'm in this space. I look at everything. I watch everything, see every comment. I'm always trying to find content for Fight Bananas. And I've been seeing a ton of this. I really want to ask a top strawweight on this planet what you think when you see this. And I would assume, G, you've seen the same thing. What do you say when you see Dana is praying for Dern to win? Like, what does that mean, or what do you take when you hear or see that?
Oh no, that's all I've thought about this. Is I'm like, they want Dern to be champion. She's marketable. Verna's not necessarily, she's not a personality. I think she has I want to say 40 to 50K followers on Instagram, where it's not a lot, where it's like you don't have a lot of eyes on her. She doesn't have necessarily the most exciting fighting style either, where I'm like, Mackenzie Dern has 1 million plus followers on Instagram. She's gonna bring the eyes to the fight. There's gonna be attention on it because of her. That's where they want the belt to go. It's like Dana's definitely praying for it.
And this is why Jillian's middle name is Savage, by the way. Your boy, has only 37,000 Instagram followers. So sorry, G. Okay. I'm trying to grow one day. When I grow up, I want to be like Gillian Robertson or Mackenzie Dern. Okay. I'm trying.
I'm not even saying that I have a crazy amount, but the numbers make a huge difference in this game. It's an entertainment business. So I'm like, they will 100% make these calls based off of what they see on Instagram.
Yeah. Did you see that Corey Anderson said that? He's like, hey, he won a fight that he should have been the number one contender. And they told him, who knows, whatever is true or not. But the UFC told him, no, your Instagram isn't good enough for you to fight for the championship. That's what Corey Anderson said. Pretty crazy if that's true.
Well, you see guys like Bilal Muhammad, who doesn't have the necessarily best personality or best, most exciting fighting style, who has to fight, 10 times before he got his title shot opportunity. It's where Paddy Pimblett, they're in talks of him fighting for the title now, where he's nowhere near deserving it. It's just, it is such an entertainment business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about who gets the most attention.
What'd you say?
I said it's all about who gets the most attention.
Yeah. Yeah. For better or for worse, sometimes I do, and I maybe Gillian will crap on this. I don't mind the Paddy thing. It's weird. I think he's won, and I also think him versus Ilya is special, and you never know if you're going to get that, because if Paddy does fight a top 5 guy, he probably or might even lose that, and you'll never get this Paddy Ilya thing. I kind of want to see that. I'm sorry. There's sometimes I agree. I'm like, there's no way I think Bilal should get it or whoever. But I like the Paddy Ilya thing. I do.
I really think like it's so rare to find that combination where it is like where you do have the Ronda Rouseys and the Conor McGregors. There's a reason why they have like really transcended MMA, that they've become like, anytime I meet a casual on the street, they're asking me if I'm going to fight Ronda Rousey or if I know Conor McGregor. Those are the only two questions, but it's a reason, because these people were phenomenal fighters and they were phenomenal personalities that just caught on. And it's just, to have something like that is so special.
Yeah,
for sure.
G, are you locked in training right now?
I guess kind of. We're getting there. We're still a long time out of the debatable date, so we're waiting.
I got you. Sorry, I had to be nosy.
I saw you're on your IG stories. I saw it's a family affair in that octagon down there in South Florida. I saw it looked like a good session this morning or this afternoon, I believe.
Oh yeah. It was obviously you saw Shorty came down, Jose Shorty Torres. We had Nick Deline, Glow, and Dean are there majority of the time. Glow and I are there every morning. Dean and Nick come in and out, but Dean's actually headed off to France tomorrow morning. So I'm like, we're always losing him because of the UFC, acting like that's more important.
I know.
Come on.
Gillian or the UFC? Come on, Dean. Come on, Dean. Man. Did you talk to Dean about this weekend's card? Is there anything that he's very looking forward to? Or I would assume that in that main event is definitely on everyone's mind of what's going to happen this weekend.
Oh yeah, that co-main event's on my mind.
Oh, insane.
I honestly think that it's going to be an easier fight for Rufy, but I don't think that Benoit's going to go down. Rufy's going to be able to find his shots. I feel like Rufy's going to be able to pick him apart, but Benoit's going to try to fight his hardest. He's going to be walking forward. It's going to be a firefight, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. So you're leaning at least one half of the Fighting Nerds getting the win in that co-main event. How about the main event? Is it going to be a sweep by the Fighting Nerds?
I'm always leaning Fighting Nerds, I think, man. I'm such like a huge fan of their team and what they're doing. So I'm like, I think I'm always leaning that way right now.
I like it. I cannot wait. It's funny. I go back and forth. I think Imamov is just really underrated. So in that main event, I think I'm rooting for Kaio. I think he's more of a better character for our space, and if he wins, I would assume he's in the main event against Chimaev in the future. And I think that would be fun. Like that, the hype for that fight will be a good one for sure. But I will say this. I think Imamov is really underrated. And if you told me if I had to bet money on the fight, I think I'm picking Imamov. I think I am, especially being in Paris and in the main event. I think I got Imamov.
No, I think I agree with you on that one. Okay. I think that I'm biasly picking Kaio.
Yeah.
I'm like 100% biased there. But I think that Imavov does provide him some challenges. But that being said, the thing that I love about the Fighting Nerds is that they just game plan so well and are good at picking apart these challenges, finding where this person is strong and figuring out how they need to approach that in the right game plan, which you really see in so many fighters. They just go out there and they fight. They don't necessarily have a specific game plan they've been drilling their whole camp. They're just fighting their hardest. Where when you do have a game plan, you can really see what the Fighting Nerds have done, how easy it is to get to the finishes.
Yeah. Fighting Nerds, that's what they've got, that guy on their team that does all the science and, watches all of the videos and playbacks to kind of give them those game plans. I mean, it's kind of genius,
I think that's definitely a next. I feel like us as our fans, but MMA fighters are always evolving. I think there's always stuff that happens. And I think that is another step for mixed martial artists is to LaRon Murphy had a good interview talking about this. He goes, I and my team watch a ton of tape. Like we watch so much tape. Let's be honest. I can only assume, and I do the same things over and over again, but if I'm kind of doing something for my life's on the line, like something really bad's about to happen, I probably have a go-to thing, right? Like a lot of people have when they're like their last breath is on the line, whatever. I'm throwing a jab or I'm a check hook, whatever that means, whatever that does. So I bet you LaRon Murphy's like, hey, when Volkanovski's in danger, when he feels like he's getting in that phone booth and stuff isn't going good, I bet you Volk has this same thing he does over and over and over again. And I bet you LaRon Murphy's seeing that. So in the fight's like, hey, I know when I'm winning and about to put him away, he's going to throw a spinning back fist. And maybe LaRon Murphy knows to go against, right? Like, does that make sense, G? Am I onto something?
Yeah, I guess a little bit. Because like at the same time, I feel like you can't be like waiting for something to happen. So, but I guess you can also base that off film study too. So a lot of times I'm watching film and I'll see how much they do fight, how far apart those fights are, if they are improving in between those fights. Sometimes you see the fighter, they look like the same fighter over and over and over again. And you can kind of expect, okay, I'm probably going to get a similar style. But some fighters, they're young and upcoming and growing, and you get a different fighter every single fight. So for you to go out there and expect something that's going to happen, sometimes you can almost screw yourself, because then you're sitting there in that frozen moment of like, all right, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And if it never happens for those 15 minutes, then it can throw you out of your own game.
Yeah.
Good point.
I was going to say, even for me, when I fought Luana Pinheiro, I'm like, the whole time I expected her to be running at me and throwing a lot of like big looping punches, because that's all she ever does in her fights. And she was backing up the whole time and looking to throw uppercuts because she was scared of my takedown. So I'm like, She brought a completely different fight to the game just because of like what I brought to the table too.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Really good point. When Dana White, it was last week, it was Thursday or Friday when he made some of these announcements that we're talking about, the Verna Dern and Whaley and Valentina. You know, he also, two things I definitely want your 2 cents in. One, made Jack Della Maddalena and Islam official. Probably the biggest rumor that I think everyone in this space knew, it just wasn't official yet, but UFC 322 in New York City, MSG, that's the main event. Islam, maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest lightweight of all time, moves up to welterweight. Will he defeat Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight championship, Gillian Robertson?
I don't know. Obviously, Islam is the killer that he is, but I really like what Craig Jones has been doing with these Aussie boys. I think they have really good options to handle wrestling, where they're mixing it up with jiu-jitsu options, which it's just very unique and innovative on their part, where you don't really see a lot of people. It's like Jack's like almost like he's willing to go to his back and willing to take more risks because he's more confident in these positions now, and he's making more space for himself going for submissions, things like that. It's just he's taking a completely different approach where it's unique, and I really like it. So I'm gonna side with JDM, but I don't know if that's a bias siding either, because I think it might be a little bit.
Okay. I had one more question about Dana, but this is something that Jake Nichols brought up. They go, quick one, UFC's new deal. If fighters are under multiple fight deals, will their money increase?
I guess they always have under the deals, typically speaking, and like you'll negotiate a deal for, I don't know, say like 50 and 50, but it'll go up 5,000 if you win. So I'm like, typically, I guess in between fights, your money does increase. And especially if you're doing well, then obviously you can renegotiate as well.
Sure. So the last one for me that Dana said, he's like, like Donald Trump went on air and said, hey, we're doing July 4th, 2026. You know, it's our, I think, 250th anniversary of America. We're going to have a UFC fight. And us and the media went crazy with it. Multiple posts that made all of our probably in similar companies money over and over again. But like, was it 100% true? Was it not? Dana's like, yeah, we're working on it. But Dana, part of that announcement goes, yes, I was at the White House. This is 100% happening. Like, this is a done deal. July 4th, 2026, fight at the White House. 2 things for you, G. 1, how crazy and amazing that is. And then 2 is, will Gillian Robertson try to fight on that card? Canadian-born Gillian Robertson fight on that card?
Will Gillian Robertson win her belt on that card is the question.
Dude, Dern versus Robertson at the White House?
Maybe a thing. But speak it into the universe now.
Wait. Universe.
Yeah.
Dern Robertson, White House 2026. I like it. It's out there.
I'm like, I'm not complaining with that. I think that sounds good to me. What better place to win your belt?
Oh my goodness. I know I'm one of those people. I think they're going to delay Amanda and Kayla Harrison. I think she is right now the only American born world champion. I think Kayla versus Amanda is going to be on that card. So we can have 2 female world championship fights on the main card. I like it, G. I like it. And then if I say that, who headlines the card? This is a fun debate. I don't even know the answer. Like, I really don't know, because you think it's going to be an American, but there's just not an American name. The biggest one we say is maybe Sugar Sean O'Malley. Like, I think, right?
I really have no idea, honestly. I was talking to somebody about this in the gym the other day. I'm like, Americans and Brazilians used to dominate.
I know. We stink now.
Yeah.
Both of them, though. Even Brazilians, I'm like, they've got like Pantoja, and I think I want to say that's it. Maybe they don't really have a lot of champions anymore either. I'm like, I don't know. It's so crazy to see the aspect of the landscape of the sport just change completely within the last like 10, 15 years. And I really couldn't tell you who I think is going to be the headline for. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Sean Strickland would be a co-main event or something. You know, he's just someone who is very, very pro-American. So I could see something like that, but I don't know. I would have no idea who could be the main event.
Yeah.
I could see John Jones, maybe, possibly like a sliver of a hair trying to, maybe. I don't know.
And Leah, I don't think you're wrong with that. And it's definitely out there. And John wants to. And I think it's a weird way that the UFC and Dana White can be like, hey, John, if you want this fight, we got Tom Aspinall as our heavyweight champion. Like, this is it. Like, we'll give you the White House, but you got to give us this fight that we've all been wanting for. So I can see that. But the only thing, and I think Dana's kind of hinted at this, how can you trust in, especially John Jones and Conor McGregor, when they've kind of, both of them have done you wrong previously over and over and over again? Like, how can you trust them with the White House? Like, I feel like we're going to get Volkanovski, or we're going to get someone it's like who would definitely not, let you down, will always show up. Ilya's never really got out of a fight. Like, I know it sounds bad. I know they're not American, but Ilya versus Patty, like, I think that's a really ginormous main event. I know it's not American at all, but if there's other Americans on the card, like you said, Sean Strickland type, Colby Covington type, I think we'll get enough of that in us. I don't know. It's crazy. I really don't know who's going to main event.
No, because even when he's like, I'm like, I don't see Sean O'Malley as the main event of this card the White House card. It just doesn't seem.
It's not fitting.
Yeah. And then like, I think that if he did follow up, if he did say like John already defended his shot against Aspinall, I think he would be perfect for the spot. Right. I'm like the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, arguably. And like an American champ, heavyweight champ, the biggest division. I'm like, he would have been perfect for this spot, but he makes himself so unreliable that there's just no way you can give him that opportunity.
Yeah. And imagine, like you said, if they did that and then he doesn't happen, pulls out, drug test, DUI, whatever, another. And then like you said, your co-main event's a cool co-main event, like Sean Strickland versus Kaio or Imamov, which Imamov coming off a win, like that's a really good fight, but like that's not the main event for a White House card, and you got Kayla and you got Amanda, you got G, you got Dern. But it's wild that it's that's it for every White House now. I'm gonna just say you and Dern. It's happening, G. So
just make us the main event.
If John Jones is not in jail, he'll pardon him. That's a good one. That's a good one. I just don't know if he can show up. I just don't know if you want to put maybe the most important card in UFC history with John Jones connected. I just don't know if you can.
No, I don't think you can. Like I said, I just don't think the name's reliable. Like you said, you brought it up earlier too. Conor McGregor, just unreliable.
Yeah.
Actually, another name that I just thought would not for the main event, but probably going to end up on the card. And Michael Chandler would be good for the card.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of those guys for sure. There's a lot of, when you kind of think of fighting in the UFC, you think of America and like, yeah, that's one. Like, I think him versus, I'm not even joking, him versus Grant Dawson's a great fight to be on the card. I really think that's a good one. For sure. I just, Grant Dawson and Chandler right before Robertson and Dern. So there you go. Robertson and Dern. One last thing, G, we'll let you run. We got Chris Mixan coming on in a couple minutes. Absolutely fun, stacked show. This past weekend, no UFC, but we saw, I don't know if you saw any of it. DBX was in Miami. They had a heavyweight champion. Brian Battle fought on the card, just being cut from the UFC. And then the next night, it was Misfit Boxing. Dylan Danis, 15-second submission. Tony Ferguson is a world professional boxing champion. I don't know. It is what it is. And then Darren Till just knocked out Luke Rockhold to the Shadow Realm. Any of that jumbles with you that you saw this weekend?
They also had CJI this weekend for the jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yes, you're right. 100%, which was Chael Sonnen, best 3 out of 5. How funny was that?
Chael Sonnen is the best. He was even posting something after saying how he's like, the trick for that submission is you're supposed to relax. So that's all I was doing. Yeah.
So good. So good.
I love him.
He's the best. It's funny. I'm like, whenever Chael Sonnen was fighting, I used to think, I was like, oh, I don't really like I don't like the way he talks. I think it's corny or whatever. Now I've fallen in love with it so much. I'm like, I think he fits that role absolutely perfectly.
Yeah.
But going back to the combat sport weekend, it was definitely somewhere all over the place. And I think we talked about it last week too. Dylan Danis always just blows my mind of how he stays relevant and how people are still talking about this dude. I'm like, the biggest thing he's done is get flying eagle stomped by Khabib,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. That's definitely always mind blowing to me. Tony Ferguson, I'm happy he got a win. I'm finally happy to see him in the win column. And Darren Till looked clean.
Dude.
Like that knockout was nasty.
Gee, I'm stealing that from you. He looked so clean. And everyone forgets, dude, his run to the UFC World Championship fight against Tyron Woodley, which this with Dean Thomas and everything. When Woodley was in his prime, no one was beating Woodley. That man was an absolute monster. Darren Till, undefeated in the UFC all the way to Woodley, doesn't go his way. They kind of falters a couple times. He actually gets knocked out. He was beating Masvidal. Everyone forgets this. That was the start of that Masvidal run. He was beating Masvidal in Ireland or England, one of those, right? And Masvidal catches him, puts him out, and then he just kind of went downhill. Then his last loss was to Dricus du Plessis, who everyone's like, oh, he lost to Dricus. He needs to leave. We all saw what Dricus has done since that. Like, Darren Till is an excellent fighter, mixed martial artist, or boxer, whatever you want to say. The guy's 4-0 since boxing, and he's like you said, he's knocking people out. He's beating people like nasty. And dude, Luke Rockhold's good. Luke Rockhold's a very skilled fighter.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, even I was trying to look it up there. I got back to here, but when he was in the UFC, he went on a very long win streak and then had 4 losses to all guys who were all in the top 10, top 15.
Yeah.
Now you brought up Masvidal, Dricus. The other 2 there I remember are very they're up there. They're big names like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to also think he's still only 33 years old.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He's still super young. He got such a short end of the stick in the UFC.
Yeah.
Just got shoved up to the top, lost to 4 really good people, and then got cut and just haven't seen him back. I don't know. I don't know if it's just motivation loss after that, or maybe he is making better money in boxing now where that seems like a better route. But I'm like, he still just had so much potential in the UFC that I felt like it was cut short.
I would have guessed that Darren Till was 45. I would have guessed that, how long his career is. And I said this to Leah earlier in the show, G, my perfect analogy is that imagine saying this to a teacher, whoever's a teacher out there. They work long hours. They work 6:30 to 3:30 for 9 straight months. And you're like, hey, a teacher makes $60,000. Then you say, hey, teacher, you could be a substitute teacher, work way less, 1 day a week, sometimes 2 days a week, and I'm going to triple your pay. That's what Darren Till is doing right now. Darren Till is making so much money outside the UFC A little birdie told me how much he made for Misfits Boxing. Gee, it is ginormous. Like, it is big money. And let's just be honest, it's boxing. It's like he doesn't have to work on grapple. It doesn't have to work on wrestling. Like, he looks like he's in great shape. I don't know how much they're testing over there either. But, he's making great money, like really good money.
No, that's I'm like, if it's the better route for you financially and that is what you care about, then I'm all for it, go chase it, do whatever. I'm like, for so many people, it is about chasing that goal, about proving you are the best. I'm like, that's where it is. I'm like, it's never been about the money for me. I'm like, it's always, I'm like, if I got offered a bunch to do, I don't know, boxing, dirty boxing, whatever on the outside, I don't know if I would ever take those opportunities because it really is just about being the best mixed martial artist for me.
Yeah. And to be brilliant, I think you're just in a different time. Like, you're in the, peak prime, whatever you want to say. You're in this championship run. We've been saying about this for the last 9-12 months. I can't wait to see you fight Mackenzie Dern at the White House for the championship. Can't wait to see you fight next. Just throwing it out there one last time, G. L. Dawson and myself will be in Pensacola next weekend for Island Fights and then L Grapple. And we can send the private jet. We got a room for you already. Just letting you know, G, whenever you want. We'll send the private jet to you.
I don't know. My initial fight date was earlier than this one now. So
Whoa!
I don't know.
I'll call you after the show. I'll call you after the show. All right, guys.
Live.
I know we are live. The great Gillian the Savage Robertson, Canadian Zone. Hopefully fight in sometime in 2025. And then we'll fight Mackenzie Dern at the White House in 2026. G, appreciate you like always. You're the best.
Always good to see you guys.
Later.
Bye, girl.
The best. We love G. All right, got a call after the show. We might have Pensacola. Might be a fun one. Maybe we got to set the hotels. We got to Airbnb, do some interviews.
Look at you. Look at you. It's all falling together.
We'll see. All right, dude. We went to Trey to John to G like that. Leah, that's a good show. Still got Chris Mixan coming on here in a couple minutes. But I think we were talking about Misfits, right? I felt like that's where we were when John popped on. Yeah, both of those guys. I'm just happy for both of them. I love it's a hard business to make money in combat sports. We can talk to a lot of people that are in this circle. It's tough. And like I said, one of my good buddies, Ben Davis, makes good money over there for Misfits. Happy for him. But also the fighters. And then you never know what can come next from that. So I'm happy. I'm just happy for that. DBX looked like it went well. It's just more people in the industry making money. So I got to love that.
Yeah.
He saved the pay-per-view too because those refs were wild. Very true, Ray. Very true. Oh, okay. Speaking of boxing, talked to John yesterday about Boxing Bananas Super Show for a pre-Canelo fight. Let's go, Ray. Boxing Bananas official. Check him out on IG. Part of the Fight Bananas family. Shout out to her. Dude, our main man Ray had not one, but two live shows. He was live watch along for DBX, and then he had a massive watch along for Misfits. Did crazy numbers. Shout out to you, Ray. Shout out. Oh, Leah, maybe the Avengers top in. Maybe we can do that, Ray. I will be in Pensacola that weekend. I was really trying to go out there for the Canelo fight, but I got not one, but two bookings, if you want to say. Our guy, Trey Alidor, I'm doing commentary for that show. And, of course, Island Fight show. But let me know. I'll hop on. We might be getting L is out there for sure. G might be out there. So we might have a lot of stuff happening. So very cool. Very cool. But cameras are on. Look at that. Our fourth guest is already in the green room. Leo, we talked to one of his buddies, and he was definitely shouting him out very much. Dude, I've known this guy for a minute. Absolute stud inside of the cage and outside of it. Mr. Cossack himself, Chris Mixan. Oh, didn't push the button right. Look at me. Get paid the big bucks. Don't even push it. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Dave?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Hi.
I'm well. How you doing?
Where are you out there in the west in the mountains right now?
I am in Denver.
Denver, Colorado. There you go. We were talking about that with John earlier about maybe I think it was a bold move by you, in which I respect dearly. I respect anyone that goes for it and kind of puts their chips in the middle. You're doing really good things here in this area, Port Orange and Daytona Beach and stuff like that nature, but to maybe take it to another level or maybe take it to that next step, making a major move personally and, in your career to go out there to Colorado. So I respect that immensely about you, brother.
Yeah, no, it was not a decision taken lightly for sure.
Yeah.
And it's, I didn't, like I said, put my chips in the middle and everything, but it wasn't complete. Like, I didn't move out here alone. Like, my sister lives out here, really close by. So, and I was doing trips up here anyway, so I already established a relationship with the gym.
Sure.
With Team Elevation before I moved out. So it was definitely a big gamble, but it was also a known quantity. But I knew I'm getting something here that I wasn't getting back home as much as I miss home.
Yeah. It's funny when you say, is it 100% home? Do you think one day you'll be back kind of living in this area, or you don't know what's next for you?
Dude, I fight the urge like monthly, like something happens here. I like that. I genuinely, I don't like living here. Like it's not my culture. It's not my scene. I don't, mountains are cool and all that, but I'm definitely a beach guy. I grew up a beach guy. And like my lease is up in November again, so I'm gonna have that thing. I'm just ultimately it's not a move it's definitely not a permanent move. There's no way I'm gonna retire out here.
Okay.
Unless something crazy happens, but I couldn't even imagine what that would be. Like I said, I fight that off very frequently, especially when winter comes around.
What's that elevation difference like?
Well, it's kind of weird because like when you first get here in Johnny, John Michael, who just came on your show, he came out here recently for like a week of training, and everybody always says the same thing. Like the first few days they're out, they're like, oh, I don't even notice the altitude. But like as soon as like that third, fourth day hits, and that blood oxygen starts getting a little bit low, people really start to feel it. But like where I'm at is like Mile High Stadium. Like we're all in that area, so I think it's about upper fours, low fives for the feet, 4,000, 5,000. But yeah, I mean, I think it helps. I mean, it definitely doesn't hurt. They have the Olympic training in Colorado Springs for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of knock on wood, but since I've really been out here, both my fights I've had have ended pretty early, so I haven't really been able to push that, elevation to the test. But I definitely feel like I notice it because when I go back to Florida and I train, I've been on the couch for a little bit, as much as I sit on the couch. My cardio feels awesome all the time. So.
Yeah.
To a layman person or to a casual person watching, and when I say that, when you're up there in the mountains and you're breathing that, what's the difference? And you said when you came back here, do you feel is it easier to breathe when you're closer to level because of where you're from, or before you got there, is it harder to breathe multiple days later? Like what's like, to speaking in casual terms, if I could say?
So the way I understand it so far, and I'm not an expert by any means, but as far as I understand it, as far as I've experienced, coming from low elevation to high elevation, you feel it. Like I said, after those first few days, you really start to feel it. And it's not necessarily like, I felt like, because I ran a lot of distance when I first moved up here, and I didn't really notice it that much. And I was running long distances, 6-8 miles, and still keeping like a pretty normal pace. But it's those sprints. It's when you're doing those really, really high intensity things, or, I mean, the biggest thing here would be wrestling. Like once you're in those crazy wrestling exchanges, you get in those scrambles, or even if it's not crazy, if it's just very difficult and you have to exert a lot of effort in a very short amount of time, that's when you really, feel the difference in your wind. And it's one of those things where your body feels good, but just your lungs are not there.
Gotcha. All right, a little behind the scenes real quick. So I was lucky enough. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I almost reached out to you, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to, especially, me, like I try week of fight or day of the fight. I try to stay as far away as possible. Afterwards, hey, let's talk and hug and do whatever we do. But before the fight, didn't want to say anything to you. We're at weigh-ins, and you're lucky enough to be as close as to me as possible. And multiple people in the PFL, because of just our past, and I remember talking about you even on the Challenger Series, so on and so on and so on. So they knew we had a little bit of a connection right away. Chris, I had 3 people from the Professional Fight League one guy pretty high up in the ranks too. They text me, they go, "What is on Chris Mixon's back?" Everyone was like, it was like the funniest thing. They didn't talk about how I thought you looked ginormous, and I told you that when I saw you right afterwards. You looked. I've seen you a lot, especially in your fight career and day of and before of. I've never seen you look this big. You look ginormous. But everyone in the PFL was talking about your back tattoo. So talk about me about like when did you have that always in mind? Did it just come up? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have tattoos to begin with. You know, I've got a couple sleeves and stuff, and I was having a little lull where just after my fight with for LFA with Joey Hart back in January, where I couldn't really find any fights. And
what happened during that fight, by the way?
First round knockout. Yeah,
first round.
Yeah, you know how we do it, you know. But I wouldn't say it was like I knew I wanted to get something like more because I have some Viking stuff, I have some samurai stuff, just things that I think are cool. But I wanted something that was really more like rooted in like my heritage and stuff, and because I'm very proud to be from my mom's side Ukrainian, and that's a huge part of my identity and how I carry myself. And I wanted something, Cossack. Like I wanted something big, and I was thinking of, chest, and I was like, nah, I like my front side the way it looks. I don't see my back very often, so I'm gonna get that done. Yeah. So, and then I found this really good artist. His name's Andrei Kolbasin. I think he's based out of Los Angeles, but yeah, he's a tremendous artist. And I just saw it on like an Instagram ad, and I saw he was in Colorado Springs, and inquired about it, and he drew it all up by hand and completely contrived it. And then, I fell in love with it. So we got it done. And actually, it's kind of crazy. I got that tattoo finished 3 weeks before the fight, which is, and it's huge,
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, but it was one of those things where like, he's a guy who travels a lot, and he's very in demand. Like, I think he has like 100,000 followers on Instagram, wins a bunch of tattoo competitions everywhere he goes. And I had already paid my deposit like back in May or something. So I was like, dude, I can't let that money go. So we're getting it done. And even I know my coaches were feeling a little cross about it. I didn't miss it, but the one thing I said is regardless of how painful it's going to be, I'm not missing any training because of this. So like I had the tattoo finished on a Saturday, and that Monday we had wrestling practice. And then, and also I'm doing private sessions with my coach, Carrington Banks. And but I was wearing long sleeves, covered it up, took care of it as I could. But even internally, mentally, I was like, I can't complain about this at all because this was a decision I made. I can't let this bleed into other things. So it got to the point to where I was quiet about it, to the point to where my coaches forgot that I even got it. And we're doing like wall wrestling, like on the cage and stuff. He's grabbing it, or I'm doing get-ups from bottom. And it was extremely painful. Like between getting the back done and the training, like the weeks following it, it was probably one of the most painful things I've ever done in my life. But dude, it was. But I think there was a psychological edge to it to a degree because I knew I'm fighting a guy. With my fight in the PFL with Kenley St. Louis, I know he's going to try and wrestle me. I mean, most people are going to try and wrestle me, so that was kind of the game plan. Was fighting off the wall, don't accept positions. If I hit the mat, I'm up. Always working and fighting every position immediately. And it was like almost an additional motivation to fight immediately because I don't want my back on the ground so badly because it's gonna hurt so bad. I'm fighting, I'm turning. And then then we had a situation where this guy, one of my teammates, Dante Shiro, who's I think he's like number 2 or number 3 in all of the US at welterweight. But he took me down with a double. And had like my legs wrapped up, and I was like levitating, post on the ground, trying to keep my back off. And dude, I had some pretty funny situations as a result of that. But like I said, to a degree, I feel like it may have contributed in the slight fact of I would have to fight positions so quickly to avoid like physical pain.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go. Meant to be. Like how many hours?
Oh, dude, probably. I think total 5 8-hour sessions. It was
I'm telling you guys, go check it on Instagram. I'm telling you, I have the best view of it. When I was in Charlotte, Chris is like 3 feet in front of me, a little bit in the front, and I had no idea. I don't know if you posted it or not yet. I'm not even too sure. You take off your shirt. I'm like, Chris Mixan has a full back tattoo. And then I'm telling you, I'm recording it on my phone. I just have people on the PFL text me. I'm like, stop texting me. I'm live recording this feed right now. It was the funniest thing.
I couldn't even have any pictures because it was still healing, you know? So,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it actually just finished healing like right on fight week, which, you know, I mean, if I was going to get tattooed like the freaking week before, I'm obviously going to cancel it. But I was like 3 weeks, I think I can manage that. So it was an educated, stupid decision.
Hey, I love
Would you say it's your favorite tattoo?
Oh, by far. Yeah, by a country mile.
Ooh, I like that. A country mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 26 years old, 7-1, 3-0 in the PFL. And we were talking to John about this kind of same type of thing. This past weekend, there's no UFC, Chris, but there was a sport called DBX that didn't exist a year or two ago. Misfits Boxing. Again, I just talked to Gillian Robertson about this. I know what Darren Till got paid. It's bizarre. It's crazy. It is a ton of money out there other than those 3 shiny letters of the UFC or a promotion that pays you now, like the Professional Fight League. If I had to say to you in 2026, Chris, like, is that, you know, I know we talked before, maybe UFC was the goal. It seems like you're happy now in the PFL, or you're just maybe happy to get a big check from one of these organizations that never existed, right? What's next? What's kind of your next move, you think, in 2026?
Realistically, I think it's probably just going to be MMA for me.
Yeah.
But as you know, because, you know, we go way back to the Ocean Center back in, 2018, 2017.
Yes, sir.
But, yeah, so, my boxing is, my base is boxing, and I like fighting like that. I love boxing. I love watching boxing. So I'd love to do that again, but just based on how my career is going right now, I realistically, I don't see myself doing anything like that. But I also don't want to, down the road, sure. Like if something happens where I'm not with a big organization anymore, or some opportunity comes up that's going to pay me really well, or that's just really fun. Like if I get an opportunity to box a few times, that'd be tremendous. Because that's the one thing I really miss moving out to Denver is boxing. Because all these motherfuckers just wrestle me. Yeah.
Okay. You're still last time John told me this, you did a lot of stuff with Gaethje, right? For that fight camp between Poirier and Gaethje, right?
I worked with him. I wouldn't say a lot, but I worked with him a number of times. Yeah, for the Holloway and for the Poirier fights.
Okay, for both. Okay, are you? There's a lot of rumors out there that maybe Justin Gaethje is fighting a Spaniard for the lightweight championship later this year. He has like a boxing style, a little bit like Chris Mixan. Is that something that is on your radar at all?
I'm too tall. Yeah.
Okay, too tall. Yeah, that's true. You are a monster to Ilya.
Yeah. Ilya is what, 5'7", 5'8". Yeah, I'm not sure that's me. I mean, I wouldn't say no if they asked me to work. I love working with Gaethje. I love going out to Onyx with them. I mean, I did some of my parts of my camp up at Onyx, but I was still just working with Banks. I'm not like clicked up or anything. And I can't really speak to that rumor. But the only thing I can say is I have seen Gaethje in the gym, sparring and stuff. So, do with that information as you will.
Yeah. All right, bottom line, Justin Gaethje versus Ilya is official. Bottom line. ESPN, let me that's funny. Yeah. I love it. But for you personally, are you I don't want to say this the wrong way. Do you think you're kind of done in 2025? I hate to say there's 4 months out there, but there's not a lot of PFL openings, especially here in the States. But is that kind of fair to me to say that you're probably done fighting this calendar year?
I hope not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's expensive out here, dude. I need the money. Straight up. Like, that's not even, I love fighting and I love competing and everything, but it's kind of getting to the point to where, like, because I moved out here with, some money put away. I was like, can manage for a little bit, but I definitely greatly underestimated how expensive it is out here. Yeah. So I need the money, so I'll fight in Europe. I'll fight in Abu Dhabi. I don't care.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
hey,
whatever they got for me, exactly.
I'll text Ray Seffo back. Maybe him can relax texting me about a back tattoo. Get my guy Chris Mixan a fight. You know what I mean? Right?
I'll get him to see it in person.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Anything else for Chris Mixan?
Do you have anyone in mind? I know you're kind of talking about fighting anywhere, anytime, but do you have anyone particular in mind?
I wouldn't say like anyone particular, and I don't want to make like official call outs or anything like that because I don't think I'm that kind of person. But I had a couple of fights that I was offered that fell through for one reason or another, and one of them was there's a guy, Sarek Shields, I think his name was, where I got offered a fight with him, and then I think he got signed with PFL right away. And then I was also offered one of the old boys from Fusion, JP St. Louis. I think he just fought the week after me, I think. And
yeah, he won in Hollywood.
Yeah, but we offered to fight him. I got offered to fight him. I think it was at November 4th, or not November. Shoot, August 4th.
Yeah.
It was a card that Johnny just fought on.
Yeah,
I got offered to fight him on that one for their Combat Night title, but we both ended up getting scooped up by the PFL. So those are two guys that I know of, like that exist in the PFL, I guess. So as respectful of a call out as I can have, those are two guys I know that are in the company. But that being said,
but okay, real quick. So Chris, are you not signed officially like with the PFL? You're not like under their umbrella right now?
I am. So I'm under for 3 fights or 12 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my current deal.
So for another, just say, I'm jokingly talking about this, but not maybe. If Island Fights on November 14th wanted to put Chris Mixan in the main event, is that something that's not possible, or is it something you would have to bring to the PFL brass to be like, hey, can I do this?
I think I would have to bring it to the brass. Yeah, but I also overheard after my last fight that they want to give me a new deal. So, and I haven't had any details on that, on what that looks like or anything. And I don't want to obviously speak too much about it because it's the business side and stuff. But realistically, I doubt they'll let me do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I am under them for the 12 months.
Right.
I know. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. A little fun bonus question here mostly for the Fight Bananas fans. I think Chris might know the answer. Does anyone know who has been the longest podcast guest in Fight Bananas history? The answer by the laugh is Chris Mixan. One time, John Radford, myself, and Chris Mixan were like, hey, man, I used to have a studio space literally right diagonal to this, a little cool room. We just got in it, chopped it up, talked about nothing. We're like, hey, man, to come in, we'll have fun 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, something like that. When I tell you this podcast was in 3 hours and 20 minutes, it felt like a Joe Rogan experience. It was a Fight Bananas experience. Chris.
It's funny because it's like, I don't know, I feel like podcasts weren't as huge back then.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really understand what was going on or anything. So that was really just like 3 friends just hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out.
There just happened to be cameras and, microphones and all that.
Yeah. Crazy. Leah, anything else for Mr. Mixan? Mr. Cossack?
No, Chris. Excited to see you fight next, whenever that is,
I know.
Yeah, me too. I just hope to get my walkout and my nickname right this time.
We told the PFL. We told them. Well, I think they got it now. I think
they did. Yeah. Hey, beat the dead horse.
Yeah. Once in a while, you got to. Man, we're so pumped. Always love having you on, dude. Always appreciate your time. Like you said, it was. I just told that story with John before you got on. My Dylan, who's now 8, we have soccer practice. He's in the 3rd grade. He just got glasses past week. He's like a grown man almost. He was a baby, and we were watching Chris Mixan in the Ocean Center. It's been a great journey, man. So pumped. 26 years young, still a huge future in front of you. 7-1. Mr. Cossack himself, Chris Mixan. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, man. Have a good one.
You
Great
too.
Chris Mixan. Dude, love that guy. Great dude. 7-1. Big future, Leah. Big future.
Yeah. Still young, little baby.
I know. Sure. Especially someone who just had their 41st birthday. That's 26 is a dream ago. Dream.
You're 41?
Yeah. I'm 41 in 2 days.
I'm 57.
So there you go. Almost 100 together. Almost.
Beautiful.
Now, someone told me how old you were. A birdie did. So
who did?
We'll talk about it off air. We'll chop it up off air. We'll talk about it off air. But great show, guys. I think we're gonna roll here in a minute. But really good show, guys. Next Tuesday, I believe L. Dawson will be back in that co-pilot chair. Leah, we would absolutely love to have you anytime you still want to be here. Have a 3-way hosting thing. We would love it. If you just want to pop on for 10-15 minutes, love that as well. So please don't feel that L's back and you're gone. We do not want that. I believe we will be doing a watch along Saturday. I think I will be doing it live here in the studio for UFC Paris. I think so. So no But we will. Fight Bananas for sure will be. I think I will be doing it this time because I know next weekend I won't be watching the UFC because I will be at Island Fights and at SEC back-to-back days. Crazy. I got to call G after this. We might have a big Fight Bananas family out there. So
yeah.
What you got coming up, Leah?
Fun. This weekend watching UFC Paris, and then next weekend I will be out of town, so I will likely be watching fights from my phone somewhere in a corner, trying not to get harassed, but that's kind of what I do. And then just wishing that I was down there with y'all chopping it up and having a good time, but it's all right. There'll be more.
Like I said, that's September. I keep on forgetting. I think it's October 14th is the next Island Fights in Biloxi, Mississippi, not November 14th. I think it's October 14th. So, like I said, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that yet, but whatever. It is what it is. But guys, great show. Appreciate Trey Alidor. Appreciate John Michael Morea. I appreciate Chris Mixan, and of course, our Savage, your Savage, Gillian the Savage Robertson. Guys, UFC is back. DBX was fun. Misfits boxing was fun. But we get our UFC back. It's a great card. There's a couple prelims we didn't even talk about or mention. Really, really good card. Of course, that co-main and main event are phenomenal. We got Benoit St. Denis against Marcius Ruffy. And then the main event, Nasruddin Imamov versus Kyle Barala, which is a great fight. The winner might fight Chimaev next for the championship. It's that good of a fight.
So, I agree. I love it.
Who do you have, Imamov or Kyle?
Kyle.
I got Imamov. We're going against each other. I might make an artwork for that. Me and that. Chad, hey, message us on social somewhere, dude. I'm sending you something. You are absolutely a stud. We appreciate you. Shout out Chad Breeze. Appreciate everyone watching, listening, sharing. Have a great day. We'll see everyone, if not Wednesday night, Saturday here live on the channel. We'll do a watch along. We'll see everyone then. If not, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Later.